Sister Sherry, about the pain, the joy, the purpose, the struggles, and the promises of motherhood. Mm-hmm. I heard you say it, women, we have been, Sister Logan, fearfully and wonderfully made. In fact, when God created the heavens and the earth, He made the fowls of the air, the fish of the sea, the beasts of the field, and on the sixth day He made man. But have you ever noticed now that when God created a woman, when He made woman, He didn't make anything else afterward? Because He knew everything else she would have the ability to bring forth. I need for you to know this morning that you never can underestimate the power of a real woman. I ought to have at least 5 that's ever had to struggle with anything, and God has given you the ability to somehow bring it forth. You should have been saying amen right there. We know, as women, we know how to improvise. Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. And we know how to emphasize. We even know how to utilize whatever we have. As women, I've discovered that we are like our Creator God, because we don't have to have a lot to work with. Y'all ain't gonna pray with me this morning. Give us yarn, we'll give you a blanket. Give us flour, we'll give you biscuits and gravy. Give us a house, we'll make it home. Give us a seed, and 9 months later we'll give you a harvest. I can't get no help in here. Somebody help me say fearfully and wonderfully made. Let me talk to you about the pains and the joys of motherhood. The first thing a mother knows about you is the pain of you. That's right. Say that again, because I didn't get as many amens as I should have right there. The first thing a mother knows about you is the pain of you. Before she sees your face or hears your cry, a mother already knows your pain. Before she embraces you in her arms or nurses you in her breast, the mother already knows your pain. I wish I had at least 5 mothers in here that had to travail in childbirth and labor that could help me understand and just said, Pastor, I can witness because of the 9 hours, the 24 hours, the 8 hours that I labored in childbirth. I knew the pain before I heard the cry. Lord help me. She already knows your pain before she knows your cry, because you caused her pain before you brought her joy. I said you caused her pain before you brought her joy. But before she experienced the joy of hearing you cry and see in your eyes and noticing how tender your 10 fingers were and how perfect your 10 toes were. She knew your pain before you brought her joy. She already knew your pain because your pain to her came before your joy to her, and that alone deserves your utmost respect. When you consider the pain that you went through, Lord help me in here. When you consider the pain that she went through to get you here, it should demand your respect. You caused her pain before you brought her joy, and for that reason alone, you should never disrespect your mama. I don't care if she's a crackhead. I don't care if she was a drunk, a hooker, a porn star, a stripper, a pole dancer, a whore. She deserves your respect because you caused her pain you brought her joy. But the joy came before the pain. The joy now of knowing that you made it through the death chamber of life. And what brings her joy now is not whether or not you're a boy or a girl, but there is a sound that every mother wants to hear. There is a sound that she waits in anticipation. There is a sound that a mother wants to hear. She don't want to hear if you're a boy or a girl, but there's a sound that a mother is listening for, and it is your cry. Lord help me. I come to tell you this morning that our Heavenly Father is listening for a sound. Psalms 34 declares, that his ear is open unto the righteous cry. God is listening for the sound. Your mother now in childbirth is listening for a sound. She's not waiting on them to say the time of your arrival. She's not waiting for the midwife or the doctor or the nurse to say that it's a baby boy or a girl. But what a mother really wants to hear is, I just want to hear my baby's cry. She's listening for a sound, and I can attest now, being a mother of two, that each cry is different. When you touch somebody and tell them, a mama knows your cry. Like I said, a mother knows your cry. Mothers have what my grandmama used to say is mother wit. We understand now that it's intuition. There's some things that mother know about you that you don't have to tell her. You can be millions of miles away, but there's something about the intuition of a mother. She can just sense when something ain't right with that child. Woo, y'all heavy in here this morning. A mother just knows when something is not going right. And you can find a real mother getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning when the children are asleep. She go into the bathroom, but she go check in the she go peep in on the children to make sure they covered up. Look at your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, it ain't nothing like a real mama. When you get off the bus and get home from school, she can just look at you and tell something didn't go right today at school. You might not want to talk about it, but just touch somebody and tell them mama knows. Mama, and can I tell you something? A mother knows a silent cry. Yes, she does. No matter how old you get, you are still mama's baby. Look at your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, I might not be the youngest, but I'm still mama's baby. Come on, look at somebody. Tell me if you think I'm not, just mess with me and see what my mama turned into a tiger bone. I need some grown folk to look at somebody and tell them I'm still my mama's baby. You know what they said. Look at somebody, tell them I'm still my mama's baby. You heard it, mama's baby, daddy's baby. Touch somebody, tell them I'm still mama's baby. In our text, I feel like preaching. In our text, I want you to picture 6 men walking on a narrow road. Their faces, Brother Jerome, are eager but common. Their leader has confidence, but he's unknown. They call him Rabbi Gwen, but he looks like a laborer. And well, he should, because he spent more time, Elder Britton, building than teaching. But now teaching is about to begin. He's not taking them to the temple. He's not taking them to the temple to worship. He's not taking them to the synagogue to teach. He's not taking them to the hills to pray. In fact, they don't even know where they're going because they haven't been told. And I'm sure if you will allow me to use my spiritual imagination, I'm sure the disciples are asking questions like, where are we going? Are we going to the desert? Where are we going? Are we on our way to the temple? And there is a course of confusion that's about to break out. Only when Jesus lifts his voice softly and said, we're on our way to a wedding. A wedding, John the Baptist would never take his disciples to a wedding because there's drinking and dancing and celebrating. Y'all deep this morning, but stay there, I'll come get you. Why in the world would Jesus take his disciples to a place where they go turn up? Look at your neighbor and tell them, if you came here today, you should have came here to turn up. Turn down for what? Why would I turn down my praise as good as God has been to you? Have you ever noticed that the only thing the enemy is trying to silence is the voice of the body of Christ? And we got the unmitigated gall and the audacity to come in God's house this morning and act like God owes us something. You allow the enemy to turn down the volume on your praise. But when you look at a neighbor and help me say, turn down for what? They are on their way, Sister Crystal, to a wedding.
Yes.
And here's the thing, John the Baptist would never take his disciples to a wedding where there's drinking and dancing and celebrating and partying and they're turning up, they're loose. Why would Jesus on his first journey take his followers to a party? Don't we have work to do? Doesn't he have principles to teach? Wasn't his time limited on earth? Why does Jesus take his disciples to this party? How could a wedding fit into the purpose of Jesus on the earth? Why would Jesus go to a wedding? I'll tell you why. I'm glad you asked. He was invited. Look at your neighbor and tell him he was invited. He wasn't just a drop-by. He had an invitation. He didn't come as a celebrity. He wasn't one yet. Lord help me. He wasn't invited as a motivation of miracles. He hadn't performed any yet. There was no evidence, yes, Lord. There was no evidence now of him ever using his heavenly status for personal gain. The Almighty went to the wedding, but he didn't act like he was almighty. You never got the impression from anyone, yes, that they asked him, who made you God? I feel like preaching, but let me close because some of y'all thinking about Mother's Day's dinner, but I'll close when I close. The wedding now is in progress. Somebody help me say progress. The celebration is going on. The party is turned up, but now the wine is gone. Touch somebody and help me say nothing to drink. Have you ever been thirsty? I'll drink to that. I said, have you ever been thirsty? But this here, the wine is gone. Somebody help me say, the wine is gone. You don't understand. You don't understand. Back then, the wine to the wedding was what the cake and the dress is today. They didn't go for no vows. Really, nobody shows up at a wedding to hear you say, I do. Nobody shows up at a wedding to hear you say, I take thee. Tonette, my wife. We already know that. But when folks show up at a wedding, they looking at one or two things. They want to see how beautiful the bride dress is or how large the cake is. But in this day and time, the wine was to the wedding what the cake is today. To offer wine son. And I don't know. I don't know the mood or the temperament. But if you will allow me to try to dialogue and do this dramatization, I can imagine that she tiptoed to her son. And I don't know, Elder Johnson, because mothers know how. We know how to get what we want. Yes, we do. We know how to play the role. Yes, we do. We're going to ask you nice the first time. I need you to go clean that room up. And when you get finished with your homework, I need you to pick your shoes up out of the floor. We're going to ask you nice the first time. And then we're going to say, Johnny, I told you 30 minutes ago, when you get finished with your homework, pick your shoes up out of the floor. And then, if you don't hear it that way, we're going to stand and square our shoulders and say, boy, I told you to pick your shoes up. Don't make me take your head off, because I brought you into this world. I should have had 3 real mamas that said, I brought you into this world, and I'll take you out. But this wasn't one of those situations for that. Son, it's embarrassing. The family is going to be disgraced. All these people are here, and we are out of my son. It's just the 3rd day because weddings lasted at least 7 days. Son, it's just the 3rd day, and all these people are still here, but there's nothing to drink. Okay. If you ever had a daddy like my daddy, we didn't have nothing but Kool-Aid. And mama said, listen, y'all daddy gonna be home from work after a while. Don't drink all that Kool-Aid, because that's all we could afford with 10 children was Kool-Aid. And it was something gonna go down. And daddy opened that refrigerator after working all day, and it wasn't nothing in there to drink. Look at somebody, help me say nothing to drink. Look at them and tell them it's dry. It's dry. She goes over to Jesus, and I don't know, Elder Johnson, if she said, son, you gotta do something. We can't. You know how when there's a shortage around here and we got something big planned and you just make it happen because you don't want the pastor to be embarrassed. Well, maybe Mary felt like that. She said, son, listen, I really feel sorry for this family. They had a bigger turnout than when we think, and the wine has been so good that the wine is all gone. The people, there's no bottom to their stomachs, and they just keep drinking, and every time they say drink up, they jump up again. They say drink up, and they just turn up. And son, I really feel sorry for this family. Without wine, there is no wine. And listen, I want you to remember something. You remember that now Mary has to have some nerve, because he put her in her place 12, 18 years before this. You remember when he was 12 years old and he was in the temple and they had gone to the temple for a feast of custom and they left and they didn't realize that he wasn't with them, and he tarried in Jerusalem and Mason 3 days later they thought he was with family and acquaintances, but 3 days later they find him in the temple, and he's there. Elder Johnson he's sitting amongst doctors and he's talking to them, and they are astonished and amazed at his saying. And then Mary walks up to him and said, hey, what are you doing? I ought to beat you. You tell your children that when they know that I ought to whoop you. And he looks at Mary. He says, it's time for me to be about my father. One thing else a mother knows is she knows your time and purpose.
All right. Yeah.
You gotta let it ferment. So now he already set up in place 18 years ago. But now, 18 years later, she comes back to him. And he says, woman, why you bothering me with this? It ain't my problem that they got all these people and they don't have no wine. It's not my problem. You gotta understand, it ain't my time yet. A mother knows the right time to release you. You think she's trying to hold you back, but really she's trying to save you some pain. She's trying to save you and the whole family some embarrassment. You ain't ready to get married. You're not ready to get married. You can't even keep your room clean. You're not ready to get married. You can't even take care of family. I understand what you're trying to do, but it's not your time yet. A mother knows the right time to release her son. Mary says, Jesus, we out of wine. He says, listen, mama, it ain't my time yet. And I told you a mother know how to intervene and interfere. So here is what Mary says. I'm going to try to work with you. If I can't work with you, I'm going to find a way to work around you. But this work is going to be done. And what she then does is she tells the servants, whatever he tells you to do, just do it. Okay, y'all sit down. Don't get up. You've been sitting down all day. I said, whatever he tells you to do, look at your neighbor and tell him just do it. Because whenever you obey God, you can't go wrong. I wish you would get up now and high five 3 people and tell them, neighbor, he's about to turn my situation around. I'll tell him I've been in a drought. I've been in a dilemma. I was almost about to be embarrassed. Tell him, my neighbor, my God, he's about to turn it. I wish somebody would turn around and help us help him turn it. Say it. Oh, yeah. Shake somebody's hand. I tell them, neighbor. Oh, neighbor. I need to encourage you on this Mother's Day. I know you're struggling. Can I talk to the single ladies? All the single ladies, all the single ladies. Can I talk to the single ladies that's ever had to raise children by yourself? I want to tell you what a wise old woman said to me many years ago. She said, baby, let me tell you something. A man works from sun to sun, but a woman's work is never done. Shake your neighbor's hand. You better go find you a sister. Go find you a mother. And shake that mother's hand. Tell the mother, oh, mama, I know it ain't been easy. Tell the mama, Lord. God ain't gonna come down here and tie your shoes for you. You gotta learn how to tie your own shoes. The only thing he's gonna do for you is what you cannot do for yourself. And so she goes over to the servant. She said, whatever he tells you to do, just do it. There were 6 water pots. I know the number 6 is for the number of men. But Elder Johnson, I really don't understand what the significance is for the 6 water pots. I haven't researched it. And I don't want to just give you something that sounds good. But all I know, I said all I know, it was the mother of Jesus that said whatever. Look at mother interfere. See, some of y'all would have told mama, mind your own business. Every time I look around, you are always trying to get in my business. But mother knows best. She said, whatever he tells you to do, just do it. There were 6 water pots. And the Britain, I don't know the significance of the 6 water pots. And they weren't even sterile. They were there for feet washing and the purification. Yes, Lord. And God, my Lord. She said, whatever he tells you to do, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how dirty it is. I don't care how filthy it is. I don't care what it's used for. If he tells you